Hello and welcome to Game Time Sports. My name is Donovan Cranage and joining me today is Will McDonald. We kick off our broadcast today with the Chill on the Hill Frozen Yogurt pregame show. For more than 10 years, Chill on the Hill has been serving up the ultimate froyo experience in the Chestnut Hill neighborhood of Philadelphia. Try one of their 20 delicious flavors and specialty toppings at 5 East Highland Avenue. Self-serve frozen yogurt in the heart of downtown Chestnut Hill. Create your own masterpiece today. Well, it's a beautiful day for baseball, Will. We have a resuming extra innings game of the opening day matchup against Youngstown State. Who are your players to watch as we enter extra innings?
Yeah, for Youngstown State, I'm going to go with the apparently the star pitcher for the Penguins today. Tyler Wright. Stat line so far is 7 innings pitched, only given up 3 hits, 2 runs, 0 walks. And for anyone listening, are you sitting down? 19 strikeouts. So he's gotten plenty of rest so far, and he'll look to keep that one going as we enter the later parts of this game.
And what about Duquesne, Will?
For Duquesne, I got to go the lone offensive star, Gio Moschella. His home runs actually one of the Duke's only offensive spotlights in this game so far. So look for him to keep it going.
And Will, we have essentially 1.5 games here. We don't know how long this first game could go. How important is the depth going to be for both these teams?
They're going to need kind of every man up. You talk about the depth. I mean, you got to see how much their pitcher can go. You want to see if Gio Moschella can add some more offensive sparks to this Duke squad. But depth is going to be very important here.
Well, that'll do it for the Chill on the Hill pregame show. Make sure to try one of their 20 delicious flavors the next time you're in Philly. For Donovan and Will, we'll be right back with the start of Youngstown State and Duquesne. Well, we welcome you back to Pemberton Park. Again, like we said before, this is the second part of the opening day game between Duquesne and Youngstown State. As we head into extra innings, it is tied 2-2. Will, what are your keys to the games for both teams heading into this 8th inning?
Obviously you got the Dukes leading off here in the top of this 8th inning. I'd say just get the bats going early and don't focus too much on the long ball. I'm gonna need singles, doubles out of these guys. Just get some ducks on the pond and hopefully that'll carry you there. Youngstown, just focus on your defensive guy. He's been absolute nails up until this point, so hopefully he can keep that going and kind of just same deal for Youngstown. Just get guys on base and hopefully good things happen.
And from what we're looking at in the first part of this matchup, Tyler Wright had 19 strikeouts, and it is my understanding that he'll be throwing again today in this 8th inning. Do we expect to see him in the second game here as well?
It honestly depends on how much coach for Youngstown State lets him throw. If he can go and look good early on, then hopefully you get him for game 2. But I wouldn't count on him to go too long into the next game here.
Well, we're just moments away from the first pitch here on Game Time Sports. It's the Duquesne Dukes and Youngstown State Penguins. We're just moments away here from the start of Duquesne and Youngstown State. We're bringing you the starting lineup. For Youngstown State in left field, Luden Streifler will be first at bat. Following him, the shortstop, number 10, Michael Galterio Jr. At the 3 spot, number 2, the third baseman, Andrew Kuppen. At the cleanup spot in first base for Youngstown State, Nick Zaid, number 20. Cameron Koch at number 5, he's the second baseman. In right field, batting 6th, number 18, Christian Sanders. Their catcher, Blaze Knight, number 1. And in 9th, the center fielder, number 21, William Fink. Again, the pitcher for them is Tyler Wright, had 19 strikeouts through the first 7 innings against the Dukes on opening day. For Duquesne, the starting lineup, number 0, Louis Maltesto. At second, in the batting order, number 7, Cohen Breitner. And we'll put a pause on that as we are moments away here. Luden Streifler, first up to bat for Youngstown State. Tyler Cortazar on the mound for the Dukes. And we are underway with a ball. A 1-0 count now for Cortazar. This one's going to be ball 2, a little bit outside. So Streifler ahead in the count here early. Again, this is extra innings. And he's going to swing and miss. That's the first strike here for Youngstown State. A 2-1 count for Luden Streifler, the sophomore out of Hanoverton, Ohio. And that one's going to be hit. Foul ball to the right of the Youngstown State dugout. An even count now, 2-2. As Youngstown State's going to look to get ahead early here. Well, I guess not early considering it's extra innings here. But a 2-2 count here. Swing checked, and they're going to call a ball. A full count now here to start extras. And here's Luden Streifler on the full count. No outs. And that's hit into the ground. The count remains the same, a 3-2 full count here. If you're Duquesne here, you want to try to make quick work of this so you can keep Cortazar in here for the second game. And another foul ball, this one directly behind, and that's going to hit right on top of us. Kyle Cortazar keeps the full count here.
Kind of loud inning so far.
Yeah, a little bit.
For us up to this point.
And here's the full count pitch. Swung on and missed. One out here early. A swinging strikeout for Luden Streifler. And that'll bring up Michael Galterio, the 6th-year senior out of Poland, Ohio. The Penguins shortstop. As Cortazar looks to keep the inning going. He's 1 down. And the first pitch is a ball. Down low, a little below the zone there, Will.
Yeah, low and away there. Good eye.
And there's Galterio's first called strike. He watched it come right down the middle. An even 1-1 count here for Michael Galterio. Pitch 3, they call it ball. A 2-1 count here. Well, what are you seeing here early from Cortazar?
You know, a little bit wild to start it off, but he's getting the job done so far. Obviously got the strikeout in the last guy he had out, but
and a third ball now. A 3-1 count. Galterio with the advantage here early. And there's the fourth ball, a walk for Michael Galterio. So the Penguins with one on and also one down as they're going to bring up number 22, third in the order, Cameron Koch.
Obviously you're going to be looking for the double play here, get out of the inning, hopefully get the bats going. But this guy he's looked solid so far at Cortazar. Hopefully he can at least mull him down here, get it to 2 outs.
And I'd say for either team, they're looking to make quick work here and get into that second game with, all your starters still there.
Exactly.
So here's the first pitch, called strike. Cameron Koch, the freshman out of Medina, Ohio, went to Highland High School. A little bit of a utility player here for the Penguins. And the 0-1 is going to be called a ball and even up the count here.
Looked a little bit on the inside there.
Yeah, a little bit. I thought so too. The 1-1 for Koch. And that's going to be outside or inside.
Another one on the inside there.
A 2-1 now, ahead of the count. It's been the story of all three batters here. Getting ahead of the count, obviously you had the one strikeout, but you also had the one walk. You want to try to avoid those early on here. Here's the 2-1. Hit to right field. That's going to be a routine out. Throw to the second base and not called out. It looked like he was out. Here's the chase down. The ball is dropped, and he is safe at third. Michael Galterio makes his way from first to third. Koch was out at first. I think they thought they got him there at second.
I thought I think there might have been some miscommunication in the field there, but runner on third, there'll be 2 outs.
A little bit of confusion there. Brings Galterio. Now with 2 outs, but a guy in scoring position. And a ball to start the at-bat for Christian Sanders, the freshman out of Solon, Ohio. I apologize, that's Nick Zaid on third base, not Michael Galterio. The lineup card we got is a little different from what they've had so far. So the 1-1 here for Sanders. Again, you want to keep an eye on Zaid, who's at third base in scoring position. This is extra innings. Here's the pitch, swung on and missed. So Kyle Cortazar ahead in the count for the first time this inning.
Yeah.
Looking to end it here and potentially get this game over with. Not too long before it gets started. And a check swing, they're going to call a ball. 2-2 now, all even.
2-2 count here. What do you look for as the hitter here?
Something right down the middle that I can smash. So Christian Sanders, the freshman, looking to make a play here in extra innings, and that's going to be high and a full count now. Here's the full count for Christian Sanders. And that's a called ball. Youngstown State now with guys on first and third. And up comes Ashton Swigert, the junior out of Canal Winchester, Ohio. The Penguins designated hitter with a guy on first and third here. Gonna look to bring at least one of them in here. 2 outs. Kyle Cortazar, the first of this at-bat. Here's the throw. Swung on. And that is the first strike here for Swigert. good lead on first. He's going to try and steal double, and he's going to get it. The throw not even attempted to be made here. So now the Penguins with the guy on second and third here, Will, trying to get something in this 8th inning. Sweigert's going to stick with the 0-1 count. Here's the throw. That's going to be low. Evens up the 1-1. Here's the 1-1. Swung on. And no good. A 1-2 count now. Cortazar trying to get out of the inning with guys on second and third here. That would be a big deal in this extra inning game. Here's the 1-2. Swung on and missed. Cortazar takes him out of the inning. Still tied up at 2. Are you looking for your next summer basketball league for your kid? Look no further than the Next Play Basketball, located just outside of Philadelphia. So the Duke's now in a position to walk it off here. You know, it seems early, but it is the 8th inning again. This is being resumed from opening day. Will, a little bit of a rough start for Cortazar, but he got it together there.
You know, that's all that really matters. He had the unfortunate play at they tried to turn 2 with 1 out. A little bit of miscommunication at second there, but I mean he got out of a jam. I mean he had 2 runners in scoring position, but he was able to strike the last guy out, and you know was fortunate enough to come away with to come away unscathed by this Penguin offense.
And that's what you're looking for here, especially in a crucial situation such as this. But you also want to keep your guy's arm, you know, in shape enough for the next game.
Exactly, you need him for the next game. And speaking of pitchers for the next game, this is obviously one of the guys to watch, at least coming into this game. You had Tyler Wright, who again is going on 19 strikeouts for this game,
which is incredible, by the way.
Yeah, you know it's
out of 21 batters.
Out of 21 batters, I mean, you mowed down or you retired 19 of them. That's really an impressive feat.
We're having press box issues as we're getting infested with wasps. Will's going to get him with the 1-2.
A little complimentary baseball there. That's
So the leadoff here for Duquesne, number 21, Joey Casey Jr., a sophomore out of Boyertown. As the Dukes look to put a quick end to this extra inning game. Again, all that's needed is 1 run. Joey Casey stepping into the batter box now. Here's the first pitch from Wright. That's going to be outside, a called ball, 1-0. Right now looking to continue a very impressive game, as we've said, and there's the first strike, as that'll even up to a 1-1 count. Here's the 1-1. Casey swung on and fouled right. That's into the parking lot. And from the sounds of the crowd, that might have hit someone's car. Hit with some authority into the parking lot there.
Check the damages there. No alarm going off, so it should be hopefully nothing too bad.
Hopefully everyone here is insured. We'll stick with that. And a called strike 3 for Joey Casey Jr. as Tyler Wright's going to get to work quick here.
That will technically be his 20th strikeout of the game.
And that'll bring up number 18, Cam Sweeney, the hometown kid out of Youngstown, Ohio, the junior, and that's where we're playing. Of course, he's with the Dukes here. And here's the first pitch, swung on and missed. So Tyler Wright, 20 strikeouts, throwing some heat right here, I'd say. And here's the 1-0, that's fouled into the cage. So an 0-2 count early here for Cam Sweeney. And here's the 0-2. That's going to be outside a ball. A little bit of something there for Cam Sweeney, getting back into it.
1-2, staying in there, making at least some contact.
And here's the 1-2 for Sweeney. That's going to be also outside. Evening up the count here, 2-2.
Hometown kid trying to come through for his Duquesne team.
Yeah. And it's the bottom of the 8th here. 2-2. And that's going to be a called ball, a full count now for Sweeney. We were waiting on a possible strike call there from our perspective.
Yeah, it looks like a bit of a high strike. But...
And here's the full count for Sweeney, and that'll be a walk.
All 4.
So Duquesne with someone on now, as Noah Fryer, the 5th-year senior out of Sarver, comes up to bat. Just looking to get something, someone in scoring position here for the Dukes. Unless they want to work Tyler Wright's arm so he can't pitch in the next game. That would certainly take a lot, as the first pitch is outside. And we've seen that outside high pitch a few times now from Tyler Wright.
Yeah, that seems to be his go-to as of both.
Not sure if he just can't get control on it, but here's the 1-0, a called strike, 1-1. Wright's going to check Sweeney, who's on first base with a little bit of a lead. And here's the 1-1. And a called strike here. Fryer down in the count now, 1-2. So the 1-2 for Fryer here in the 8th. Sweeney on first. Here's the pitch. Low and called a ball. A 2-2 count now. Wright just trying to get out of the inning. Let his guys go to work on offense. And here's the throw. Hacked at it and missed. A swinging strikeout for Noah Fryer. As Louis Malatesta comes up to bat for the Dukes now. With 2 outs. You got a guy on first. You looking to just get on base here, Will?
I mean, I'd look to maybe poke something into the outfield. Hopefully, guy on first can maybe make it over to the third. But that's best case scenario there.
And Malatesta is going to swing at the first pitch. Go down 0-1. Tyler Wright continues to check that first base runner. That's going to be a called second strike. Another early 0-2 count here for the Dukes. Malatesta out of Lampeter, PA. Looking to get something going here. And that's going to be hit. Thrown over to first, and he has it in time. That'll end the 8th inning here as we go to the 9th. Duquesne 2, Youngstown 2. We'll be back shortly. welcome you back to Youngstown State and Duquesne. Top of the ninth here, which is considered extra innings. Both teams remain at 2 after a somewhat productive first inning for Youngstown State. They ended up not getting any runs, even though they had 2 guys on. Blaze Knight's going to foul off the first pitch. They're looking to continue that offensive momentum and ultimately drive home some runs here. And here's the 0-1. It's going to be looked at and called a ball, 1-1. Cortazar still on the mound here for Duquesne. And another ball here. A 2-1 count here for the catcher, Blaze Knight. Junior for Youngstown State, and that's going to be fouled out left behind the stadium. Probably going to end up in the road somewhere. 2 balls, 2 strikes here. Blaze Knight. And here's the 2-2. Swung on out to left field, and that's going to be fouled. Looks like it might add a chance there for a second, but then it's going to soar past the yellow line.
That's a deep foul ball, though.
Yeah. So the count remains 2-2 here for Knight. And there's the 2-2. That'll make it a full count here. Another full count here for Youngstown State. Cortazar with the 3-2. And that's a ball. A walk as Blaze Knight takes first base. And that'll bring up William Fink, the center fielder, the 6th-year senior out of Lakewood, Ohio here for Youngstown State. And they're going to have Drew Manzo pinch run here for Blaze Knight, who is just up to bat. So Fink here, trying to get Manzo in somewhat of a scoring position. He's going to take second, and that's going to be called back. Ball was in the dirt. So an 0-1 count here for Fink. And he's going to throw to first. That's going to be outside, and Manzo is going to take second with ease. Looking towards third. He's going to stay at second as Cortazar is going to finally get the ball back. The Youngstown State with the pinch run, and he gets the stolen base there.
Just an unfortunate error for the Dukes, and a time where you really can't have that kind of error.
Nate Ray's going to go talk it up with his pitcher, Kyle Cortazar. Looking to get on the same page here. Fink will step back in the batter's box here as he's sitting at an 0-1 count still after the stolen base. And Manzo's got a little bit of a lead on second there. Cortazar might have to look out for. Here's the throw, and it's going to be bunted. Manzo will take third, and Cortazar's going to trip, make the throw, and it's not in time. Fink takes first, Manzo takes third. A similar situation on last inning where they had someone end up stealing second. Duquesne in a little bit of a tough position here. 0 outs. You got a guy on first and third. As Streifler is back up to bat, he was first in the order. The left fielder going to give himself a second here before getting ready. Looking to drive in Drew Manzo from third and get a lead here in the ninth. Here's the first pitch of the at-bat. A ball for Streifler. Right. They called a strike. And there's a hit towards third. The ball's dropped and a run drove in. Drew Manzo. And that's a bit of a routine play there from Joey Casey Jr. He's just going to drop it, and that run able to get drove in. So now it's Streifler on first and Fink on second. Duquesne still with 0 outs. Youngstown State now with the 3-2 lead in the ninth. Going to be Nick Zaid up. He's going to make contact. That's in through the first and second base line. Rounding third and in to score is William Fink. So Streifler now at third as Fink scores. Youngstown State with a 2-run lead. Duquesne still with 0 outs. Having a little bit of trouble here on the mound, it would seem. That'll be Andrew Coupin up to bat. And stealing second and not even attempting the throw. It's going to be Michael Galterio Jr. Is he pinch running? I didn't see if they brought him in.
Yeah, you got.
Here's the pitch. That's fair. No, it's not fair. Just fouled. It was looking like a fair ball for just a second there. So Andrew Coupin with the 0-1 count after the foul. Again, Youngstown State now with a 2-run lead, up 4-2 in the ninth. And a man on second and third with 0 outs, just in an absolute optimal position here offensively. So Coupin with the 0-1. And that's high, a ball called. Even up the count here at 1. Here's the 1-1. Swung on and smoked into left field. And that's going to be dropped. Rounding third is Streifler. Staying at third is Galterio. And that'll extend the Youngstown State lead to 3. Up 5-2 now. Will, what do they got to do to end this inning here? I mean, they've got 0 outs.
I mean, getting an out would,
Yeah.
would certainly help. But I mean, honestly, if I were the coach of Duquesne, I'd start maybe considering getting this guy out. I mean, you do need somebody for the next game. And honestly, is this really the guy you want going into the second game?
We'll have to see as Nick Zaid steps up to the plate. And that's going to be swung on and missed. And trying to take second is Coupin. That's going to be good. And Galterio will take home. And it's getting ugly here for the Dukes. A 6-2 lead now for the Penguins.
All of this still being done with no outs for the Dukes.
No outs. Zaid's going to stick with the 0-1. And a called strike here at the bottom of the zone. Coupin on second, who just had the steal. Here's the 0-2. Called ball. Get something working for Nick Zaid here. Here's the 1-2. Nearly swung on, but a called strike nonetheless. So finally an out here for Cortazar and the Dukes, looking to get a little bit of momentum as a rough ninth inning they're trying to bring to a close here. It's 6-2.
You could say that again, but at least they have an out to work with here. They do still have a runner in scoring position to deal with, but you got one out. So that's at least something to work with.
So the freshman second baseman Cameron Koch comes up to bat with one out, nearly hits him. That's going to be a ball. Cupin's going to remain on second here. So a 1-0 pitch here. That's going to be hit over to the shortstop. He's going to make the throw to first, and that's called in time. So a second out here for the Dukes. Maybe they got something going here, looking to bring this inning to a close as Christian Sanders, the freshman right fielder, will step up to the plate. Got my words twisted there a little bit.
Two quick outs, but
Two very quick outs.
Certainly a close play there at first.
So Cupin's still on second as Sanders is going to foul off his first pitch. Cortazar just looking to get out of the inning at this point. So an 0-1 for Sanders. That's going to be driven out to center field, and it's caught. So that'll bring the inning to a close after a dominant inning by Youngstown State. They take a 6-2 lead heading into the bottom of the ninth. So it'll be tough for Duquesne to get an answer here. Located in the heart of Philadelphia, Zips Candies is a neighborhood staple.
Be sure to check out Zips Candies, located in the heart of Philadelphia.
So it's Cohen Breitner here. The center fielder is going to take a ball in the first pitch. And you got to get something going for the Dukes, obviously. I mean, this is it if you can't drive in at least 4 runs. And that 0-1 is going to be popped up and caught. Blaze Knight with the out as they are looking to make quick work here, the Dukes. So Nate Ray, the 6-foot freshman out of Fairless Hills, PA, looking to just do something to stay in the game here. He's going to swing on the first pitch and whiff at it. And the second pitch called a ball. So the 1-1 for Ray is going to be swung on and called strike 2. Down in the count here early. Duquesne looks to stay alive in this game, down 6-2 in the bottom of the 9th. Here's the 1-2. That's going to be down near the dirt, a 2-2 count now for Ray. Here's the 2-2. That's going to be outside again. A full count now for Nate Ray. Looking to stay alive. Went to Pennsbury High School, just a 30-minute drive from me, so a local boy for me. Here comes the full count pitch. Swung on. No good. So 2 outs now for the Dukes. Down 4 runs in the bottom of the 9th. It isn't looking too promising, I must say, as Tyler Wright just continues to deal here. It'll be Gio Moscello, the senior first baseman here for the Dukes. He had drove in both runs in the first part of this game back on opening day, as he's going to foul off the first pitch. And that definitely went into the road or someone's yard or something over there.
He went into some yard,
and he's going to look at the second pitch, which is called a strike.
Duke's down to their last pitch here. Got to do something here.
Yeah. It feels like a lost cause at this point. Hopefully they prove us wrong. Moschella with the 0-2. And that's in the dirt for a ball. Dukes stay alive. The 1-2 here from Moschella. His swing checked, and they call him out. And that'll do it. Youngstown State 6, Duquesne 2. Your final score here.
Final score here from game 1. 6-2 Youngstown State. So they take game, I guess game
1.5.
Yeah.
In dominant fashion, too. The law firm of Elliott Greenleaf is recognized for its expertise in complex legal challenges, including all manner of litigation in state and federal courts and agencies, business counsel, and innovational legal solutions. The firm's attorneys bring extensive experience both in and outside of the courtroom, offering clients a unique advantage. Known for building lasting client relationships, the law firm of Elliott Greenleaf addresses immediate legal needs while anticipating future challenges. Do you own property in the Philadelphia area? Keep your property looking its best all year long with JM Property Maintenance. From expert landscaping and mulching to thorough leaf cleanups and reliable snow removal, JM Property Maintenance has you covered all year. Trust the team that puts care and quality into every job. Contact Mike and his team by calling 610-764-6441. That's 610-764-6441. JM Property Maintenance, your partner for a pristine property. We'll be back in just a few minutes with Game 2 of Duquesne and Youngstown State. We will be back on a new link, so make sure to switch over to that for Game 2 of the Duquesne Dukes and Youngstown State.